Turtle tank video time. Hey, that's right, you. What are we doing? I'm going to show you guys how I maintenance my turtle tank. Oh, I do this twice a year, so it's not horrible, but I guess I could do it more if something were to happen and that were to require cleaning. But so we open up underneath, and this is where all my filtration is for the turtles. I have canister filters. They're quiet, they're fine, and it's good for this type of setup. So what do we want to do? So first thing we're going to do is we are going to unplug the canister filters. That's where we're going to start. And we're going to let the air bleed out of the system. Okay? Lots of air, lots of going. Hopefully this will show you guys what can go into having, over 100 gallons and a lot of turtles. Because let's be honest, turtles eat a lot. That means turtles poop a lot. That means we have a lot going on. So once the bubbles stop coming, we have obviously an intake and an output on your filter. So we are going to go ahead and close these. We're going to close the intake, and we'll figure out, this must turn this way. Yep. Close it all the way. Now this is also what you would use to control the flow of your filter. And then we're going to close the out all the way as well. Now, even though there are vacuums that can get set up when you do this, and sometimes you can pre-drain because canister filters have a drain on the bottom. Because of where my filters are, the easiest to do is actually plug them, cap, take these pieces off, take the filter outside, and then I'll show you. So I use a towel because there's always a little bit of residual water inside the hoses. Not much. Drips worth, but not much. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to pop these off. Then I'm going to take these both filters outside, and then we'll cut back. Okay. Some of you may be wondering, bringing out these full filters is heavy. It's a great question. I'm glad you asked. The answer is yes. Now, I'm going to open these up, and it's important to know how when you clean a filter, because you can see I have the hose out here, but that means I'm going to be using city water, tap water, which means it's treated. It has chemicals in it to clean the water. It has fluoride in it, probably has chlorine in it, bleach. It has a bunch of other chemicals, and then it also has a bunch of minerals in it, iron, etc. The thing is, with filters like this, there's a lot of bacteria in this filter. Important bacteria to eat not only the fish poop, but basically all the chemicals the fish poop make, nitrates and everything. And we want to preserve as much of that bacteria as possible. But we also need to clean the physical filters themselves and get rid of extra poop. So when I take this out, I'll show you what I'm going to do with the water. Normally I dump it in a 5-gallon bucket with cheesecloth, but today I'm going to put it in a clean big clear container, that way you can see it. But so the first thing that I'll do, and because there's electrical, I always move everything with the water downhill, down my driveway, angled that way. So we'll pull out the stacked filter median, and we're going to let it drain. And you can see right away there's just stuff on here. I mean, it's funny, I haven't used the green reptile carpet in a long time, and it still somehow ends up in the filter. Now, here is the filter, and this is all bacteria-filled water, but with good bacteria. And so we want to drain this, but we want to preserve the bacteria in the water, the microbacteria, but not the giant amount of fish poop. So here is a container that's clear so we can see it with cheesecloth. We are going to pour into the cheesecloth. We're not making cheese, unfortunately, sorry, although I'd much rather be doing that. We are actually cleaning the turtle's tank, and we'll see all what comes out of here. Now, why are we preserving this water? Because we are going to reuse this water. This is really important water. It has a ton of that bacteria. Now, we also are going to add bacteria to the water whenever, because we're going to still be cleaning medians and stuff like that. So we are going to add bacteria. All right. So now look at all that. That's what came out of the canister. There's more in there, and actually in the canister, in the intake pipe, that we're going to flush out. And so even our filters, not the media on which the bacteria can grow, but the filter pads themselves and the bacteria medium, we won't be cleaning that. We want to leave bacteria in there, but we're going to be cleaning the rest of the stuff. So we'll clean out these filters because, again, they'll have poop and stuff on them, and we want to make sure water can pass through. So we'll clean those. We'll replace charcoal pads. That stuff's all normal. But if we get down to the median, and I like to keep this stuff, which is in, yeah, it's under here. It's under this one. All of our pebbles and everything that rotate around and are porous, that's where a lot of the bacteria grows. We're not going to hit that stuff with the hose and the tap water because we don't want to kill that microbacteria. So I'm going to go ahead and wash all this stuff out, and then we're going to cut back. So I'm done with the first filter, and you can see everything that came out, just more debris, and a lot got washed down. Now this is clean. People will look at this and be like, well, those filters are not white. True, they've been stained from the minerals in the water, mostly iron. That's why it's got that orangish, reddish stain. But that's ready to be lifted up, put back in there, and then have this cloudy-ish water, which is bacteria driven, be put in there. And then we're gonna go do the next one, but I'm gonna do the next one without you guys because I'm gonna save you the trouble and I'll be able to move a lot faster. Okay guys, spoiler alert, the first filter I cleaned was the back filter, which actually gets less of a load because it's kind of just there if over. Look at this. This is the front filter, and there's actually so much goop in here that it's actually clogging the cheesecloth. Look at that. It's actually clogging the cheesecloth as to where it will not drain because of how much stuff is in here. Now people will be like, well, what is that? Well, remember, turtles, this is carpeting material for them to climb, but this is turtle skin right here. Turtles shed their skin. And then there's also scutes in here. Turtles shed their shell, so they get all those things. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into the front filter because it gets majority of the burden. So if you looked at the other one, you're like, oh, it's not too bad. Yeah, because this is the one doing the work. All right, I've gone and I've put the canisters back into position and I've hooked them up. You want to make sure you push these down all the way because the last thing you want to do is open them. Now I'm going to go ahead and open the valves, which is going to equalize the water inside the canister. So first I'll open the output. It's a little hard to do with one hand, but that's okay. We'll open the input. There we go. We hear water dumping in. Same thing on this one. And we see and hear the air bubbles. And now that's an important thing that we're going to talk about. But first we're going to let these kind of purge all these air bubbles. Can't see anything because it's too bright. That's fine. And so in doing this, you don't get to keep all the water. So also it's a partial water change because the water in the tank is going to be lower. Now, when you plug these canisters specifically in, but this FX line, it's important to understand how these work. Because a lot of people online talk about, oh, my filter's broken. When you plug these in, the filter is going to turn on and run for about 1 minute. And then it is going to turn off. And what it is going to do then is purge all the air from the canister. So that 1 minute it's going to run and it's going to fill up with water. Stop, and it is going to purge the air. You'll see air bubbles like crazy. It does this purposely, that way there's not any air in the lines and it can run effectively. Now it will purge, it will do this when you first plug it in, and then every 12 hours from when you first plugged it in. So we go ahead, we plug in the first one, some air comes out of the line, we see that it's kicked on right away, and then shortly after, plug in the second one, again some air comes out of the line, and the filters are running. And they will run. Then they will purge the air. Then they will run. And then in 12 hours, they will do this sequence. They will stop. They will purge all of the air. And they will run. And they will do that every 12 hours. So you like to coordinate when you plug these in or unplug them, which is what I'll do. I like to do 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. starting time, but basically so it's 8 to 8 while it's running. And this is the other time to check for any leaks or anything. You don't see any leaks. Everything is great. All good. Your water will be pretty not clear. Let's see if we can show any of that. Yeah, not bad. Because there is going to be a lot of air in the water from these canisters purging the air. But that will all bubble out over the course of 10 minutes. Whew. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Here's an example of the water. So it's purging the air. Anything that was inside the line, these little bits are going to get kicked out. The water is very, you can see all the little micro bubbles. That's all the air in the line. And then in a second here, these things just shut off. It's going to kick all the water, or excuse me, the air out of the line, and then you'll see. But so right now people would say, hey, it's broken. It's not working because I just plugged them in and now they've shut off for a couple minutes. They're getting ready to purge the air. Big common misconception. You see these things get bad reviews because of that, when they're actually really good canister filters. So we're just waiting for the purging to happen, and you can see how long it'll take. Turtles are sleeping. That's great. We're staring at me. Big Bertha's swimming around. And then after it's purged the air, that's when we can take a look at the water level and know what we have to... Look at Big Bertha swimming around. Know what we have to add in terms of water. Here we go. They're kicking back on. One and then the other one, because they've purged all the air from the line. Quite fascinating. There's the second one. There's the air. Very good. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Say goodbye to the turtles. Alright, take it easy. Thank you guys for supporting my reptile rescue family.